I mean, sort of Kawasaki have been struggling the last few years in most classes, but they've sort of been getting stronger and stronger, even in the superbikes as well. So I think Ben's got a good chance. He's definitely a fighter and a racer. So look forward to him sort of coming through the pack.
Brilliant. Okay, well, thanks very much for that, Leon. Let's get underway then with the Fuchs Silkerline British SuperSport Championship race. And now commentators for this one are James Whittam and Jack Burnicle.
The penultimate round of the Fuchs Silkerline British SuperSport Championship. 18 laps of the international circuit here at Silverstone. And a lap record held by one of the men that James Whittam was talking to just then, the rejuvenated Hudson Kenner from South Africa, now with Gearlink Kawasaki, having made a last-ditch assault during qualifying, just burst through to 7th place on the grid, having been 17th up until that point. So Hudson Kenner on bike number 2, qualifying there, getting a flying start for his warm-up lap, qualifying alongside his teammate Ben Wilson, and hopefully number 2, Hudson Kenner, the lap record holder here in both Superstock 1000 and British Supersport. His Supersport lap record 128.392 seconds, set last year on the Raceways Yamaha. 90.13 miles per hour. So Hudson feeling confident before this race. The championship, of course, is currently being fought out by Billy McConnell and Steve Plater. Plater, the veteran, the 41-year-old whose career has really come on song this year, is there leading the way ahead of Billy McConnell. There's a 7-point gap between number 7 McConnell, number 22 Steve Plater on the HM Plant Honda. So after 10 out of 12 races, Plater on 170 points, Billy McConnell 163, James Westmoreland on 126 is third, Ben Wilson in 4th place on 121 ahead of Dan Cooper on 91, Dan Linfoot now transferred to Superbike is on 72 ahead of Ian Hutchinson 65, James Webb 54 with Tom Grant, and Sam Lowes in 10th place ahead of Craig Fitzpatrick. AJ Venter coming on strongly now. Lee Johnston, Hudson Kenner 14th on 39 points. Jack Kennedy is 15th ahead of Chris Martin, Paul Young, Martin Nutt, Dean Hipwell and Dennis Hobbs. The grid is headed once again by JW Racing's James Westmoreland on his Triumph. Billy McConnell in 2nd place, alongside his great protagonist Steve Plater for HM Plant Honda. Lee Johnston is on the outside of the grid on the 2nd Map Raceways Yamaha. 2nd row has Ian Hutchinson alongside Ben Wilson, Hudson Kenner and the Hydrex Honda of Tom Grant. Row 3, AJ Venter on another Map Raceways Yamaha ahead of Joe Dickinson, Paul Young's Triumph and Dan Cooper's Centurion Honda. And the 4th row of the grid has Martin Nutt on the Nutt Travel Yamaha ahead of BJ Toll's Honda, Ross Walters Triumph and James Webb Padgett's Yamaha. And Robbie Brown shaking his head, pulling off the track. Robbie Brown from Bidulph on the AJB Transport Packet Media Limited R6 Yamaha. Looks like he's out of the reckoning before we've even got started, and that's a huge disappointment. When you've gone through the whole weekend of work and qualifying, you don't make the start. Those men on the front row of the grid though, including the championship chasers, all 3. McConnell gets air under that front wheel straight away. Once, twice, 3 times.
in front, I think.
But it's not. It's Lee Johnston who's come bulleting through from the right-hand side of the front row of the grid, the unfavoured right-hand side, to lead the way on bike number 13. General Lee Johnston, the reigning 600 Junior Superstock champion, leads the way for that raceways.
Westmoreland is 2nd, and remember, Lee Johnston might have a factor in this race because he has to help his Map Raceways teammate McConnell if it comes to it.
And have we got it?
We're looking at the start.
And we think there's a jump start here.
Yeah,
yes,
that's a jump start.
And
That's definitely a jump start.
Johnson, number 13, instantly puts himself out of contention because he's got the jump start. He'll be getting signalled to come in pretty smartly, James.
He will. There's nothing you can do if you've made a jump start. You can't go back in time and not do it. You've got to keep going, keep pushing, hope that nobody's seen it. But I've got to say, lots of people will have seen that, and it just in his position now, you'd just be waiting for your lap board to come out.
James Westmoreland, and I think he's already feeling detuned because he's immediately got demoted to 3rd place. Westmoreland's gone through, McConnell has gone through. The two young guns lead the way ahead of Lee Johnston.
Plater.
Who's that in fourth place? Is that Wilson?
That's
Ben
Wilson.
Wilson's made a great start.
Wilson's muscling his way past Lee Johnson.
Just shoves aside Westmoreland. Oh, look at the evasive action there that Plater had to take.
McConnell was out the seat there, Jack, coming out of Woodcourt.
So an already dynamic race. McConnell, Westmoreland, Wilson at the front.
That's why Westmoreland was able to get back past McConnell, because McConnell was out of the seat, accelerating from Woodcourt, lost the back end. As came off the seat, he threw him in the air and lost time.
Would that be his bottom, James?
His bottom, sorry, I got me excited there.
Number 4, James Westmoreland, still in the front.
This is the moment.
Oh, Billy made a late lunge in.
Yep, but watch this, late lunge in, he throws it on its side, and watch as it goes out of shot when we're watching other people, watch. There!
Oh, and he was just landing as we caught him. So, number 4, Westmoreland in the lead. 7, McConnell. Well, Ben Wilson, a former winner in this series, is next up. Johnston, right through penalty. That's what we expected. Plater is behind him. Joe Dickinson has made a tremendous start, number 48. Into 6th place ahead of Ian Hutchinson. Paul Young has also made a blinding start. He's 8th ahead of Tom Grant and Alan John Benter in 10th.
Billy McConnell in 2nd, and Ben Wilson having a little bit of a look going into Priory at the inside of Billy McConnell.
And Hudson Kenner, after feeling so bright and chirpy on the grid, has ended up in 16th place, so not having made the best of starts.
That's a terrible start.
Westmoreland, number 4, on that JW Racing Triumph.
And this is not
Two laps in.
Not good for Steve Plater. Down there in 5th, McConnell pushing for the lead.
Well, Plater knows, well, we've got a faller.
It
it looks like number 21, Mark Kringle from Douglas on the Isle of Man on the Rock Pro Ride Kringle Racing Yamaha.
Oh, is it? No, it's not. It's not a Yamaha.
Oh, I beg your pardon.
It's not a Yamaha. Under the seat exhaust. It's either a Triumph or a Honda. I suspect a Triumph looking at it.
So it's definitely Kringle that's gone down. That's the one thing we do know. Meanwhile, there's a Triumph at the front. And backed once again by A1 Motor Services of York, one of the UK's leading Triumph dealerships from Lawrence Street, York, if you want a road-going Triumph. James Westmoreland in the lead on bike number 4. As Plater looks underneath Lee Johnston, and once again, taking no prisoners. I know you may think it doesn't look that good for Plater right now, but look at the way 8 people up at Croft, James.
Yeah.
And, but Johnston just has a go back.
Yeah, Johnston's got his ride through penalty up there. He must come in. He's got 5 laps to do it once he's signalled.
And really, he's got to do it within three now.
Laps, sorry, yeah.
But the fact is that he shouldn't be out there interfering with the race too much, should he, James, at this point?
But that's how it is. That's the rules. You know, it does seem a bit unfair that he's having an effect on the race, dicing with people who are got championships to win or lose. But that's the rules. He must come in. He's got 3 laps to do it. If he doesn't, he'll be excluded.
So General Lee Johnston, he never looks the happiest of lads at the best of times. I bet he's snarling behind that helmet right now.
I don't know, Lee. He's a funny lad. He's quite a dry sense of humour, but he's quite funny. He just doesn't smile much himself.
You're right. As my dad used to say, you can have a lot of fun without laughing.
Yep.
Number 4, Westmoreland leads the way, and we've lost number 85, Mark Pollock. The Southern Irishman from Dublin on the Arkwood Yamaha. The Arkwood is now, when he's gone down
that might well be. Let's have a look what happens. Ooh, and that's a big high side. That's a big high side. And that's at Luffield. That's just before the bus stop. Looks like he's gone off the track. He's actually onto another piece of track. He's not actually on the track they're using now.
Certainly landed pretty heavily. We're back with Steve Plater.
Is that Plater in front of Wilson? Has Wilson made a mistake and dropped back? I think so.
I think Wilson has, because Wilson's back behind Johnston as well. So Ben Wilson has made a mistake while we were away. Through to 3rd place, HM Plant Honda Steve Plater. Wilson immediately attacks again. And behind them, notice Paul Young just treading his way through.
Yes,
old Youngie there on his Triumph. Number 96, as ever. That's the tag Triumph. The man who's done the bulk of the development on these 675 triples for the Hinckley factory. They're in 6th place.
He's coming in. Oh, sorry, no, I'm going. Sorry, Jack, there. I think you'll get excited there, didn't I?
Lee Johnston heads for his ride through. Yep. Meanwhile, number 4, Westmoreland leads the way. Do you know, he's governed this all through qualifying. He's been pronouncedly the quickest man.
Yep.
His fastest lap so far, 1:28.46. And that's very, very close to Hudson Kenner's lap record. A tenth of a second outside the lap record then as Lee Johnston rides through.
The speed gun there, making sure he doesn't speed in the pits. If he does speed in the pits, you know what he gets? Another ride through.
And so it goes on.
No, I think he gets it still after the second one.
Westy leads the way, 128.46, close to the lap record, riding close to lap record pace on the A1 Motor Services JW Racing Triumph, and he's riding really fabulously, and he's enjoyed his first outing courtesy of one of his sponsors over in Spain on a superbike since we last saw him at Croft, and thoroughly enjoyed that experience.
Yep.
Meanwhile, Plater, a man who jumps with intrepidly from Superbike to Supersport and back again. Steve Plater is in third place. He leads the championship, and at the moment he would still have a 3-point lead in the championship if he finished where he was now in this race. And there's one more race to go, of course. Alton Park, October the 11th will be the final race of the series. And we check them across the line to see how fast Westy's gone this time as Westmoreland, number 4, crosses the line, 128.63, still about 3/10 quicker than McConnell. Fastest lap of his race for the bright green gear-link Kawasaki of Ben Wilson. And then there's Young, Dickinson, Grant, Kennedy, Ian Hutchinson in 9th ahead of AJ Venter, Dan Cooper, Marty Nutt into 12th place. And we're at 1/3 distance here on the 6th lap of 18. We're watching number 14. That's
Kennedy,
Jack Kennedy with Hutchie just behind him.
Yep.
It's wonderful, isn't it? They're bringing the international feeling of it. I mean, look at this. You've got Lincolnshiremen chasing a man from Adelaide, Australia here as they drop down carefully into Abbey. Although Billy McConnell never really looks careful on a motorbike.
Nice line there, tight going in, ran it a bit wide mid-corner, got it turning, squared off the exit and got the throttle open early. That was nice.
How tidy does Westmoreland look on this Triumph? It seems to suit him.
It does.
His smooth riding style.
They're a good bike. They're a good steering bike. They're a bike that you can move around easy. They're quite lively.
Westmoreland, who's 21 years old now, although he still looks about 12. He actually turned 21 on the 24th of June. And at the moment, leading the way for splendid advertisement for A1 Motor Services of York he is right now. They've agreed to back him for the last 3 rounds of the series as he crosses the line to complete that 6th lap. Behind him, number 7, McConnell, number 22, Plater, 15 is the distinctive gear-link Kawasaki of Ben Wilson ahead of Paul Young, Joe Dickinson, Tom Grant moving up now on the Hydrex Honda, Jack Kennedy 8th, Hutchinson 9th, Cooper in 10th.
Yeah, West is a type of lad that he's going to get asked his age when he goes to the bar, I think. He does look young.
When he goes to buy a packet of cigarettes over the counter of his local newsagent.
I don't think he'll be smoking.
I think not. Number 7, Billy McConnell, who's delighted to report that his dad Kim, who fell suddenly ill after Kedwell Park, has had his arteries pumped out and some little... Oh, and here comes Youngie.
Yep.
Here comes Paul Young, another of the Australian invaders. Oh, he's gone down! And he's taken Ben with him. Oh, Youngie. Well, look how he apologetically turns to Ben Wilson with his arms upraised.
These lads will have... They've got electric starter motors on the bikes. They will be able to get started and get going. Ben Wilson's bike didn't even stop. It picked up and got straight going again, fortunately.
Oh, Young was a bit unlucky there. He'd virtually taken the turn when the front left loose.
He's actually gone up the inside. He's gone in a little bit quick. Didn't want to run wide mid-corner and let Wilson back. He's gone up the inside. He's actually aimed for the apex, which means he knows he's going a little bit quick. He's gone in, still carrying a bit of brake, and a little bit unlucky. No damage done except for Ben Wilson's championship hopes.
And Ben, nice skip over the Kawasaki, Ben. No, that was very nimble. And there's actually tarmac there, of course, where the Grand Prix circuit runs in. Where Youngie could have kind of rolled wide.
Yeah, but he didn't. He didn't know it was going to crash, did he? So he was trying to get it stopped and get it turned.
Oh, and Wilson's had to pull straight in.
He could well have lost a lever then. That looks like maybe a footrest or a rear brake lever or front brake lever. It went down on that side, on the right-hand side of the bike.
And that means that Joe Dickinson has moved now into 4th place for 48, which is a terrific result at the moment for, for Joe. Best of the year by far.
By a long way. Best ride for a long time from Joe.
Number 7, McConnell. Number 22, the threatening figure of Steve Plater. Oh, McConnell is gone! Oh, Billy tried tries to come back up inside Steve Plater. He forces the older man wide.
Yep, it was
neck and neck under bridge.
It was Plater. It was McConnell's mistake. Sorry, it was his mistake, and Plater's looking for a way up the inside into Priory now.
Oh, this is getting exciting. This is for the championship. Now, one thing neither of man can afford, really, James, is a DNF, but especially McConnell.
Yeah.
Because that would mean that if Plater stayed on board, it's all over.
Pretty much.
So Billy McConnell from Adelaide, whose mum and dad knew Glenn Richards. It was it was actually his dad came over and raced for Workington Speedway team 30 years ago, would you believe?
Yep. And
Number 7 McConnell. And he did have air underneath the back wheel.
A bit of a bump there. He's run a little bit wide. Plater goes up the inside, tries to square it off and run McConnell right to the stripe. McConnell puts his wheel on the paint and gets back.
Fair enough. Brave.
He was, yeah.
And Billy was saying that his dad's in absolutely great shape. He's had the offending arteries pumped out. Some little coil springs get inserted.
Yep, to keep them open.
Keep open the arteries. And the result is that problems he'd had with his back and his shoulders, this is Kim McConnell, Billy's dad, that he thought dated back to a huge crash he had when racing for Workington Speedway, have all gone. And he's been restored to great health.
He's had a full rebore.
Full rebore, and it's worked. This is McConnell holding on to second place ahead of number 22 Steve Plater. And meanwhile, don't forget Westmoreland is 3.5 seconds ahead of these guys, lapping consistently just outside. Westmoreland, I beg your pardon, while I wasn't looking on lap 6, Westmoreland has slammed into the lap record and taken it for his own. 1 minute 28.279 seconds. Westmoreland already handily owns the 125 GP record at Silverstone, now has the SuperSport, the British SuperSport lap record.
Oh, listen to that 3-cylinder Triumph, just lovely.
They'll go screaming round underneath us now onto the main straight. There's about half a dozen bike lengths between number 7 McConnell, number 22 Plater. And I suspect that Plater, wise old owl that he is, won't want to go into the final round at Alton with a lesser lead than the 7 points. I think he'll be really lucky to get past him.
Yeah, I think he will. Yeah. 7 points, not enough of a lead to kind of sit back and finish second or third. You know, you've got to go and beat your championship rival. But going into a championship final round is better with any lead than no lead at all, than being behind. So
Plater was very late into Beckett's, then he pulled it back on the brakes after coming deep into the Beckett's before that island chicane. And now once again braking hard for this deceptive turn at Abbey. It seems to suck people in, James, because you're so fast down that back straight.
Yep.
And then the bumps unsettle you on the way in.
Plater taking a tear off the visor of his helmet.
And now into the left-hander. This is Priory. It's around 75, 80 miles an hour, and then tip into Brooklands. Another awkward turn that comes right back on itself, and then the long left-hander at Luffield.
McConnell out of the seat again. He saved that one really, really well. He actually felt it going very, very early and just lifted his backside off the seat and saved it.
The way that Billy rides this Yamaha, it looks a lot nervier than the Honda.
It does, yeah. I think a lot of that's down to the way he rides it. Like you see, I don't think a lot of that's down to setup. I think he just rides a lot more aggressively. You see it, and this is it. This is going around the left. This is just before Woodcut. And that,
but he deals with those moments very handily.
I've got to say, he dealt with that really, really well.
Like they're an everyday issue.
Yep.
Oh, and here comes Plater. Plater's looking very keen. That's the left-hander. The right-hander at Maggots now. And then braking hard into Beckett's. Look at the line that Plater takes.
But that sets him up nicely.
It does look. It's almost straight lines through there. Bounces the curb on the HM Plant Honda. Down the back straight, Westmoreland is away in the lead on the A1 Motor Services Yamaha. This is second and third place, number 7 McConnell. Remember, still 7 points adrift in the championship table behind that man in black and orange, Steve Plater.
And that wide line into Abbey that Plater's got, you can see just how much difference it makes mid-corner. McConnell trying to square off the corner, get the exit quick. Plater runs into the corner dead wide, and that gives him more mid-corner speed.
Before these guys came into this race, 7 points separated them in the British SuperSport Championship.
Yep, and 4 points between second and third. That means 3 points should it finish like this. Plater would lead.
And that's as it stands at the moment. The gap would be down to 3 points, and Westmoreland, despite his race win and how bravely he's ridden all year, he would be out of it. Remember, that's a scarcely funded private racing effort that Westmoreland put together at the last minute.
It is,
using Paul Young's Glenn Richards championship winning triumph from last season. After 11 laps then, Westmoreland, McConnell and Plater at the front. Joe Dickinson in 4th place. The lad from Chesterfield ahead of Tom Grant, Hydrex Honda, and Ian Hutchinson. Then Jack Kennedy, Dan Cooper, Martin Nutt, James Webb on the second Paget Spike ahead of Ross Walter, BJ Toll. Hudson Kenner now in the point ahead of Lee Jackson. Lee Johnston is into a single point, having recovered courageously from his ride-through. He's 15th. Ahead of Hipwell, Walker, Ward, McClelland and Jenny Tinmouth.
Somebody touring. Yeah, that's
number 76, Ross Walter, and here's number 2, Hudson Kenner, the former lap record holder around here. Tried to make a move on the Gaelic Kawasaki.
Just saved it.
Yeah. And Ross Walter getting really squeezed there. That's I think by BJ Toll on the second Centurion Honda.
Yeah, this is a dive for 11th place.
Number 36 Toll, and right behind them Kenner and number 24 Lee Jackson. Oof, dear me, a good dust up going on here. Kenner's best off out of this. You've got to hand it to Hudson Kenner on the green Gaelic Kawasaki, James. He's supplemented his own income by working at Norton, and also on the evenings he's a waiter in a wine bar in Ashby de la Zouch, where he now lives.
Yeah, and apparently he's quite a good waiter as well.
Yeah, would you expect him to be?
Yeah, you would, yeah.
So that's Hudson Kenner, number 2, who's broken his way through now into 11th place, ahead of that trio of Walter, Toll and Jackson. Rather, Toll, Walter and Jackson.
That's the way.
At the front, Westmoreland still leads the way between that battle between McConnell and Plater. That's the battle for the championship. Westy at the front, number 4. Westmoreland, runner-up in the British 125 Championship in 2005, runner-up again in 2006. And these are the guys who don't want to be runner-up in a British Championship this year because they're fighting for the title. Peter McConnell, who started off, of course, jet skiing was his first passion, was something that his dad did in European Championships as a relative veteran, until he realised that his lad was rather better at it than he was.
Yeah, I almost didn't want to go and speak to these lads on the grid. I just know that with the championship at stake and this stage in the season,
we've already been invited round for a beer with Billy and his dad at the end of the day, whatever the outcome of this race.
All right, yeah, but I tell you what, Billy, in our focus, he looks at you and he's not really listening to what you say. He's just going to bore through your head with his piercing blue eyes.
Oh, McConnell, he trusts that bike.
He does, yeah, and he doesn't have physically just flick it from one side to another.
And look at the remarkable Steve Plater from Woodhall Spa in Lincolnshire, originally, of course, from Luton, born in Luton, Bedfordshire, before his family moved up to Lincolnshire. Started out life as a bricklayer, still does do a fair bit of that. But mainly, he's a motorcycle racer, winner of the Senior TT on the Isle of Man this year.
Motorcycle racer, property developer, entrepreneur.
Yes. He's had many wins at the Northwest 200 as well as SuperSport and Senior TT wins, and he's finished second in the World Endurance Championship in his time. And of course he's been a race winner in British Superbikes, and he's also lost the British Supersport Championship on a tiebreaker in 1998, that long ago. But what we tend to forget, Plater is 41, James, but he didn't start racing until he was 25. So really, in terms of career span, he's actually had quite a moderate length of career.
Yeah, he still trains hard, he works hard, he's physically fit to do the job, and as all that you need apart from that is the will to do it, and he's certainly got it.
And you know, best of all, he grins hard.
Yeah, he does, yeah.
The happiest, grinniest man around the paddock. And he's not able to find... Is he sizing something up here, James, or is he just not able to get just on terms?
I was trying to figure it out, really, and to me, it looks like he hasn't got anywhere. He's significantly quicker than McConnell. I really don't know where he's going to get past. It doesn't look like he's stalling to me.
Charlie Wallace of Taunton on the Steadfast Racing Honda is the man on the yellow bike, number 86, steadfastly being lapped as we catch up with number 48. That's Chesterfield's PTR Honda Racing. Joe Dickinson is in 4th place.
You're a cruel, cruel man, Jack.
He's riding very solidly, steadfastly. Hudson Kenner now 10th, BJ Toll 11th, past Ross Walter, Lee Jackson 13th, then of Lee Johnston and Dean Hipwell. This is Dickinson, number 48, coming under pressure now from another fella who won 2 TTs this year. That's Ian Hutchinson, number 3 on the Paget's Yamaha. Hutchie having a good ride off a poor start.
Up there in Bingley, where Hutchie's from. Quietly spoken.
But he's got himself a swanky new house, you know.
Yes, I know.
He's preparing to move into his granddad's old house. He's taken on a whopping mortgage to move into it.
Welcome to my world.
Westmoreland leads the way ahead of McConnell, Plater, and this battle. It's about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 5-way battle. There's Marty Nutt just off the back of it.
Not having a bad
number
ride.
77.
Yep, Marty not having a bad ride at all.
Martin Nutt apparently not having a bad ride, but under observation for a little haze of smoke that's been suspected from the number 77 bike.
Just when I've said that, yeah.
He's being he's being looked after at the moment, if that's the right word, by Dennis Hobbs. Hobbsy offering him advice, and then meanwhile Plater's gone through. Crucially, Plater's found a way through to 2nd place on bike number 22. Wherever he's got him, he's found a way past McConnell.
He has. I wonder if that was a mistake from McConnell, because he didn't look significantly quicker than Connell.
So Skippy McConnell has found that he's dropped a place. It's critical, this. He really could do with staying ahead of Plater in this race for the championship.
2 laps left at the end of this one, and I'd like to see where Plater got through. Plater's gone in a little bit hot there.
Oh, and McConnell even hotter.
Oh, he got sucked in, I think.
Yeah. Probably didn't expect the experienced Plater to make a mistake at that point. Followed him into the turn. Now, Billy, has he got anything in reserve?
And this is a difficult position for McConnell. He cannot afford to crash, and he knows it, but he needs to push to beat Plater.
There's Plater, HM Plant Honda 22, number 7, Map Raceways Yamaha, Billy McConnell, currently 7 points behind. That 7 points would become 11 before Alton Park if he had to settle for 3rd place here.
And that doesn't mean that Plater's won the championship, but certainly McConnell would feel the championship just slipping out of his grasp a little bit if he can't beat Plater here today.
Westmoreland, 16 laps complete. James Westmoreland crosses the line, 5.2 seconds clear of the champion-elect Steve Plater. And then Steve Plater ahead of Billy McConnell, but McConnell putting everything into this pursuit.
Yep, ran wide coming out of Cops there, did McConnell. He's trying everything.
Skipping somewhere. Billy McConnell, of course, the 2005 Virgin Yamaha R6 Cup champion, and that meant that he got a British Superbike ride with Rob Mack's Virgin Yamaha team in 06. It was a bit too soon for him, really.
It was,
and when he demoted to British SuperSport with Mack's Virgin Yamaha team, finished 4th in that series in 2007. And now here he is, hounding Steve Plater. Oh, he tries to go around the outside of him. That was a brave
I'll
look.
tell you that he's trying everything. McConnell, he's trying everything. That was, I can't see that ever going to have worked.
Oh, and that plunge through bridge, that was a sticky moment then. Now it's sweep through bridge, left into Priory.
Well, certainly Plater knows now that his championship rival McConnell is prepared to take a bit of a risk.
And he's just taken one as he run wide.
He has a little
Plater just calmly holds his line.
He does.
McConnell looks the other way. McConnell's putting, well, you say he was putting everything into this and more. And good Lord, we have a back marker. Out of the way, son. Is that Youngie? I think it might have been Paul Young back on. James Westmoreland calmly leading the way. No, sorry, it's number 41.
Number 41, that's Sean Winfield.
From Swaddling Court in Derbyshire. Now then, the Lincolnshireman. There's number 4 leads the way, 22 seconds, 7 in 3rd.
This is going to, I tell you what, this is going to get nasty, this, I'm sure. I've just got a feeling.
Well, you know how much Skippy needs to make this pass.
He's got everything. He's got championship at stake. He's got 2 riders who don't want to lose, and he's got back markers coming into view as well.
Skippy's hard.
He's so quick. He's so quick through magazine.
Well, I tell you what, that Honda picks up fast out of the turn.
Yeah. He's right with
Skippy
him.
has got
He's
to
right
somehow,
with him.
he's going from the outside line. Now he's gone for
Where's he
major
gonna go?
slipstream and an early move to the inside. It takes him round the outside.
Can he stop it?
The
Can he
back
stop
wheel's
it?
in the air. He's trying to
can't
stop it.
stop
He
it.
can't. He runs wide. Plater says thank
That's
you.
it.
And he's back through to second place.
I don't think McConnell can get back onto the tail of Plater and make a attempt at beating him.
That was a brave move, but the bumps just nearly unseated him.
It went wrong on the bumps there, Jack.
Westmoreland still
I tell you what,
leads the way, but Billy has not given up on this yet. Skippy McConnell, the man who never stops,
it's not
is
over.
back again. He goes round the outside because he wants to make for the inside now. Oh, he's hit him. He's knocked Plater off. He's knocked Plater. No, Steve regains the track. He's still going to be there in third place. James Westmoreland. James Westmoreland for the A1 Motor Services JW Racing Triumph takes the win. Second, Map Raceways Yamaha. What a performance by Westmoreland. He's dominated the whole weekend here at Silverstone. Second place, number 7, Billy McConnell, after an amazing last lap move. And third place for head-shaking,
he's not happy with that,
veteran Steve Plater, number 22.
He's not
Fourth
happy with
place
that.
will go to Ian Hutchinson, ahead of Tom Grant, Joe Dickinson, Jack Kennedy, Dan Cooper, Marty Nutt and Hudson Kenner rounding out the top 10. And Billy tried to wave an apology there to Plater, but Steve just ran on past.
I really wouldn't be happy with that, I've got to say. I wouldn't be happy with that. He gets round the outside, Plater, and that's, I tell you what, that's at best
This
that's
is a contact sport.
At best, that is a very hard move. Plater had no idea.
Oh, and he knocked. Oh, that was a painful move. That could have broken his leg because he slammed into his knee. Really.
I don't want to say too much
Billy.
here because I think there's going to be. I think there's going to be repercussions there.
Neil Tuxworth, the senior team manager at HM Plant Honda, doesn't look too happy with that. Billy McConnell, well, you said it could get messy. You said he put everything into that pursuit, and he certainly did that.
I had that feeling, Jack. I just knew that Billy was prepared to push and push and push. Well, they both were. They both were, and that's what can happen.
And Billy McConnell, he's got that second place. So on paper at the moment, he's reduced the gap to 3 points in the championship over an unhappy Steve Plater.
I tell you what, if there is repercussions and there is a kind of sentence, should it,
so to spoil the championship.
It would, but there's no way they can exclude McConnell. They fought hard for that. They could maybe, I don't know, put him back up. I don't know.
Just reverse those positions again. Number 4, Westmoreland, in the midst of all the hanky-panky, has just ridden an immaculate race on the A1 Motor Services Triumph. What a brilliant performance by him. And of course that means that he's pushed himself not up, just smiling and, taking it, the fact that that was a hard-fought race, as indeed it was. And he calmly, smilingly takes his place on the rostrum. Third place for HM Plant Honda's championship leader, Steve Plater. Still 3 points ahead in that championship of Map Raceways Yamaha's Skipper McConnell from Adelaide. It's good to see some sportsmanship after such a tough race. And what about this kid? East Lincolnshire 60cc Club Motocross champion in 1997, Academy Cup 125 champion in 2005, SuperSport Cup champion, and 9th overall in the British SuperSport Championship of 2007, 4th in the 2008 British SuperSport Championship, and 3rd for sure this year. And with performances like that, well, who knows where he might end up. James Westmoreland dominated that. Engine prepared, as mentioned, by John Trigger at JT Developments, and sponsored for the remainder of this season by A1 Motor Services of York, one of the UK's leading Triumph dealerships. How good is that? James Westmoreland on top of the box once again.
Well, there you go then. The boys have spread the champagne, but that might end up being a little premature for, well, at least one of them. I've just been handed a sheet from Race Control, and it says that the incident involving numbers 7 and 22 is currently under investigation. That's the incident that you saw, of course, between Steve Plater and Billy McConnell in the last couple of corners of what turned into a very, very thrilling race.